Feeling a little overwhelmed by the constant flood of AI news? I get it.
It can be tough to keep up.
Well, you've come to the right place. This is the Deep Dive, your shortcut to understanding what really matters in AI today. I'm your host, and with me, as always, is our AI expert.
Ready to dive in?
Let's do it. Today, we're zeroing in on the latest AI news. We'll cover everything from advancements in models and big business moves to the global AI landscape.
Think of this as your cheat sheet to what's happening right now in artificial intelligence.
Exactly. We'll distill all the key insights from the latest news, saving you the time and effort of sifting through it all.
So let's cut through the noise and jump right in.
Sounds good to me. Let's start with AI models. Meta AI just dropped their Llama 4 models, Scout and Maverick. What stands out to you about these?
The big thing here is Meta's focus on a multimodal architecture.
Multimodal.
Basically, it means the AI can understand not just text, but also images. It's a more well-rounded understanding of the world. They're also using a mixture of experts framework.
Okay, break that down for me.
Think of it like this. Different parts of the AI specialize in different tasks. This collaboration can make the AI much more versatile, better at a wider range of things, and able to reason over longer pieces of text.
Interesting. So what's the early buzz on Llama 4?
It's a bit mixed.
Mm-hmm.
Some early feedback and impressions from the community have been a little all over the place. Meta themselves have pointed out some initial bugs that might be affecting things.
Makes sense. New tech always has some kinks to work out.
Right. And there was a lot of excitement about a potential 10 million token context window. That's how much information the AI can consider at once. But it seems that might be limited for now. We'll have to see how that develops.
Got it. Meanwhile, Baidu over in China has unveiled their Ernie 4.5 and Ernie X1 models, and they're making some big claims.
Definitely. Baidu is saying that Ernie 4.5 surpasses models like GPT 4.5, and Ernie X1 is even giving DeepSeek R1 a run for its money.
That's bold.
It is, and they say they're achieving this at a fraction of the cost.
Mm.
But the real game changer, Baidu announced that Ernie X1 will be open source in June.
Wow, that's huge.
It is. If it lives up to the hype, open sourcing Ernie X1 could really level the playing field and give more people access to powerful AI.
We'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. Now, there's also a new player on the scene, Deep Cogito. They're doing something pretty unique with their AI.
What's interesting about Deep Cogito is their focus on these hybrid AI models that can shift between reasoning and non-reasoning modes.
Sounds like an AI with a split personality.
Kind of,
Mm.
but in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
This could lead to AI that's way more efficient. It can adapt its processing power based on what it's doing.
Smart. Let's move on to LLM, the tool that helps people work with these large language models. It's just been updated to version 0.24, and it seems to be focused on managing all that data.
Yeah, LLM 0.24 is all about tackling the challenges of long input contexts. The latest large language models can process tons of information at once. So LLM 0.24 introduces features like fragments, which help manage storage and avoid redundant text and prompts. There are also template plugins and better logging, which are essential tools for researchers and developers working with these massive models.
All right, so it's not just about text. Generative AI for voice and video is evolving too. Amazon has released some updates to their platform.
Yep, Amazon has updated Novasonic and Nova Real to version 1.1. Nova Real 1.1 is particularly interesting because it can generate longer videos while keeping a consistent style. That's a big leap forward in AI-driven video creation.
And it's not just software. We're also seeing AI integrated into the devices we use every day. Samsung, for instance, is putting Google's Gemini AI into their Galaxy S25 series.
This is a trend to watch. Putting AI directly into our phones, like with Gemini-powered visual AI, could totally change how we interact with our devices. Imagine having real-time visual conversations right on your phone.
That's pretty wild. And lastly, in model news, OpenAI is taking steps to track the origins of AI-generated images.
They are. OpenAI is testing a watermark feature for its image gen model. With AI-generated images becoming more common, being able to identify them will become increasingly important.
Moving on to the business side of AI, there have been some big acquisitions and investments lately. IBM, for example, just acquired Hakoda. What's the strategy behind that move?
Essentially, IBM wants to beef up its data and AI consulting capabilities. They see Hakoda's expertise in modernizing data platforms as a key asset for their consulting clients, who are looking to leverage data for AI-driven business solutions.
Smart move. We also saw a significant change at Anytime AI. They just brought on a new VP of revenue.
Right. Bringing in John W. Blake suggests anytime AI is really focused on growth, his role covers marketing, sales, and customer success. They clearly want to get their AI-powered legal tech into more hands.
On the investment front, Signal Fire just closed a massive fund specifically for applied AI.
It's a $1 billion fund, and it's a clear sign that investors believe in the real-world applications of AI. Their focus on early-stage companies tells me they're betting on the next generation of AI innovators across all sorts of industries.
Another interesting development is Orascape coming out of stealth mode with a lot of funding. They're addressing a growing concern for businesses.
Absolutely. Orascape just secured $50 million in funding, and they're all about tackling the security risks that come with using third-party AI applications. Their tools aim to mitigate what's called shadow AI, which is basically the use of AI within an organization that IT might not even be aware of.
Yeah, that's a blind spot that more companies need to address. And speaking of big investments, we saw a huge deployment of NVIDIA GPUs in India.
Yeah, E2E Cloud just deployed over 2,000 NVIDIA H200 GPUs, creating a massive AI compute cluster in India. It's a major investment.
What's the significance of that?
It's about building AI capacity within India and potentially reducing reliance on resources overseas.
Finally, there are rumors swirling about OpenAI possibly moving into the hardware space.
The interesting thing here is the potential acquisition target, IO Products, an AI hardware startup backed by some big names like Sam Altman and Jony Ive. If this happens, it could signal that OpenAI wants more control over the hardware running its models.
That would be a big shift. And lastly, in business news, the UK government is focusing on the intersection of AI and another critical sector, energy.
That's right. They've set up an AI Energy Council to explore how to balance the growth of AI with clean energy initiatives. After all this computing power uses a lot of energy.
So let's talk about how AI is actually being used out there in the real world. We're seeing it pop up in some really practical applications, like managing battery energy storage systems.
That's one area where AI is making a difference. It could be used to predict when maintenance might be needed for battery energy storage systems, also known as BESS. By analyzing data, AI can help prevent failures, minimize downtime, and ultimately make these systems last longer.
Pretty important as we move towards more renewable energy sources. And it looks like AI is also playing a role in the energy market itself.
Right. AI is being used to automate the trading of surplus energy from things like home battery systems. So instead of just storing excess energy, people can actually sell it back to the grid, and AI can help manage that process.
Interesting. It seems like the global competition in AI development is heating up, according to a recent Stanford study.
The Stanford study suggests that the race is on in AI, with China closing the gap with the U.S. in terms of developing impactful AI models. It's a reminder that innovation in AI is happening worldwide.
For companies using large amounts of data to train AI, Dremio has a new release aimed at helping them work more efficiently.
That's Dremio's Spring Lakehouse release, and it's all about speed. It's designed to accelerate both AI and business intelligence workloads by optimizing how data is processed and analyzed. For organizations using massive data sets for AI, that kind of performance boost can be a game changer.
One thing that keeps coming up is the issue of AI hallucinations.
Ah,
These moments where AI just makes stuff up, is this just something we'll have to live with as AI becomes more common?
the kernel of AI hallucinations really gets at the issue of trust and reliability in AI, and it's a valid concern. While researchers are working on ways to reduce these errors, understanding their potential impact is super important as AI is integrated into more and more applications.
Absolutely. Now, Databricks is expanding its footprint in Bengaluru, India. What's the thinking behind that move?
Bengaluru has become a hub for data science and AI talent, and Databricks is tapping into that. They want to better serve their customers in the region and contribute to the growing AI ecosystem there.
Speaking of milestones, there was news about ChatGPT passing a version of the Turing test. What does that actually mean?
Well, the Turing test is all about whether a machine can exhibit intelligent behavior that's indistinguishable from a human.
Yeah.
So ChatGPT passing a version of it is a significant milestone. But it's important to remember that it doesn't mean the AI is truly intelligent in the way humans are. There's still a lot of debate about the real significance of the Turing test.
It's definitely food for thought. Now, for those who aren't as familiar with the technical side of AI, can you explain reinforcement learning?
Sure. Reinforcement learning is a way of training AI where the system learns by trial and error. It gets rewarded for doing things right and penalized for doing things wrong, kind of like training a pet with treats and scolding.
Okay, I get it. It's good to see AI being used for positive things, too. There's a nonprofit that's using AI agents to raise money for charity.
That's Sage Future, and they're doing some really innovative work. They're using AI agents in a virtual environment to try and raise money more effectively. It's a great example of how AI can be used for social good.
Definitely. On a different note, there's news about Waymo and how they might use data from their robotaxis.
Waymo is looking at using the data from interior cameras in their robotaxis to train their generative AI models. But importantly, they're planning to give riders the option to opt out of having their data collected.
Good. It's important to respect people's privacy. Brands are also finding new ways to use AI to engage with consumers. What's Snapchat up to?
Snapchat is launching something called Sponsored AI Lenses. These are AI-generated experiences that give brands a new way to interact with users through advertising on Snapchat. It's about creating more immersive and engaging ads.
I saw a mention of something called Prologue. What's that and how does it relate to AI?
Prolog is a logic programming language, and it's relevant to what's known as knowledge-based AI. Prolog works on facts, rules, and queries, making it good for logical reasoning. While it's not as widely used as other languages in machine learning today, it still has applications in areas like expert systems and natural language processing.
It seems like AI is even making its way into space.
That's right. ATEC has unveiled IQSat, which is a tiny satellite or picosatellite designed specifically for running AI applications in space. It's a sign that AI is truly reaching beyond our planet.
There's been some tension between AI developers and content creators when it comes to copyright. What's going on there?
OpenAI and Google have both pushed back against a proposed AI copyright law in the UK. The proposal said AI developers could use online content for training unless the copyright holders specifically opted out. OpenAI and Google didn't like that idea.
I can see why that would be controversial. There's also a new study about how people perceive creativity in AI.
It's fascinating, actually.
You
The
know,
study found that people were more likely to see AI-generated content as creative if they understood the process the AI used to create it. Transparency seems to play a role in how we perceive AI's creative capabilities.
Interesting. And online communities are having to adapt to the influx of AI-generated content.
For sure. A new data set shows how different Reddit communities are updating their rules to manage the growing amount of AI-generated content being posted. It's a reflection of the ongoing challenge of integrating AI into online spaces.
There's an interesting argument that our fear of AI might be misplaced.
Some people are saying that instead of worrying about AI itself, we should be focusing on the humans who are creating and controlling AI technologies. It's a call for responsible development and ethical considerations, which is crucial.
I think that's a really important point. It's not just about the technology, it's about how we use it. Even big consumer brands like Procter& Gamble are exploring AI.
Procter & Gamble did a study, and they found that AI could potentially make their product development process better and even improve teamwork within their organization. It just goes to show that AI has the potential to impact almost every industry.
It's everywhere. Our everyday search engines are getting some AI upgrades too.
Yeah, Google Search just got an AI boost, and they're offering these new features for free. They're aiming to make searching the web a more informative and helpful experience.
And NVIDIA, the chip maker, made a move that could have a ripple effect in other areas.
NVIDIA open-sourced its PhysX engine, which is used for physics simulations, and that includes the code that runs in the GPU.
Why is that a big deal?
This could lead to more innovation and wider adoption of physics simulations in various fields, including AI.
I see. Microsoft's Copilot is also evolving, and it seems to be taking some cues from the competition.
The latest Copilot features seem to be aligning more with what other AI assistant platforms are offering. It's interesting to see this kind of convergence in the market.
On a more serious note, there is a story about the potential misuse of readily available information, maybe even AI-generated content.
There was a case in Florida where a man was arrested for impersonating an ICE agent. This incident raises concerns about how easily accessible information and perhaps AI-generated content could be used for malicious purposes.
That's a scary thought. And there's even speculation about AI's influence on politics.
There's been talk that some of Trump's new trade policy might have been shaped by AI chatbots. While it's not confirmed, it raises the question of AI's potential role in shaping political ideas and discourse.
One of the big challenges in AI is managing all the data needed to train these models.
This is what's known as the AI data dilemma, balancing the need for huge amounts of data to fuel AI innovation with the growing importance of data privacy and responsible data governance. It's a tough nut to crack.
We're also hearing more about something called agentic AI. What is that exactly?
Agentic AI refers to AI systems that can operate more independently, making decisions and carrying out tasks with less direct human supervision. It's seen as the next frontier in enterprise AI applications. Imagine an AI that can manage entire business processes on its own.
The market for AI coding assistants is getting pretty crowded.
For sure. New AI coding assistants are popping up all the time, competing with established tools like GitHub Copilot. It's becoming a crowded space, which means more options for developers, but also more competition.
We've mentioned DeepSeek a few times as a company pushing the boundaries of AI. What's behind their success?
DeepSeek's innovations likely stem from advances in their model architectures, how they train their AI, and maybe even unique ways of processing and understanding data. It's a company to watch closely.
ChatGPT made headlines recently for a rather unexpected reason.
Yeah, ChatGPT went viral because of a feature that let users turn images into the style of Studio Ghibli films.
Yeah.
This Ghibli feature caused a huge spike in usage, demonstrating how creative applications can drive user engagement.
When it comes to the future of AI, there are a lot of different opinions. Kevin Kelly, for instance, seems quite optimistic.
Kevin Kelly has a pretty positive outlook on the long-term impact of AI. He sees a lot of good coming from it in the decades ahead.
We'll see. For photographers, AI is offering new tools to help them work more efficiently.
Absolutely. Culling with Imagen is a new AI-powered feature for photographers. It's essentially an AI photo editor that helps photographers select the best shots from a large set of images. It can save them a ton of time.
Time is money. The 2025 AI Index from Stanford provides a broad snapshot of the current state of AI. What are some of the key takeaways from that report?
There are a few important points. First, the report highlights that U.S. companies are leading in the development of significant AI models. However, the cost of training these models is very high, and it's only going up. On the other hand, the cost of actually using AI is going down.
So it's getting cheaper to implement existing AI.
Exactly. The report also mentions that AI's carbon footprint is a growing concern. It takes a lot of energy to train these models. Another interesting point is that AI performance on standard benchmarks seems to be leveling off a bit. We might be approaching the limits of current approaches.
I wonder what the next breakthrough will be.
Me too. The report also raises concerns about the data used to train AI models. Where's all that data coming from? And is it being used responsibly? These are big questions.
Definitely.
And there's a sense that we haven't seen the full economic impact of AI just yet. There's a delay in the return on investment.
It's still early days, I guess.
True. The report also delves into the potential and current limitations of AI in both science and medicine, as well as growing AI-related policy activity in the U.S.
And overall sentiment toward AI.
The report suggests the public generally has a positive view of AI.
Cautious optimism.
I'd say so.
AI is even finding its way into the underwater world.
Researchers at the University of Michigan have created OceanSim, a GPU-accelerated simulator for developing and testing AI systems for marine robotics. It's a vital tool for pushing the boundaries of underwater exploration and related technologies.
We talked about startups earlier. For those wanting to launch AI-powered businesses, there's a new tool in development.
There's talk of a Gemini-powered AI startup pitch generator. This could be a game changer for aspiring entrepreneurs.
Talk about streamlining the process. In a bit of a curveball, Kawasaki has unveiled a futuristic concept.
Kawasaki has introduced Corleo, a hydrogen-powered AI horse. It's a fascinating blend of cutting-edge technology with the traditional mode of transport. Who knows, maybe we'll be riding robot horses someday.
Stranger things have happened. We've talked about the UK's focus on AI and energy, but it's a global concern.
It is. The UK AI Energy Council's emphasis on aligning AI growth with clean energy reflects a worldwide need to address the energy consumption of AI. We need to make sure AI development is sustainable in the long run.
No doubt about that. The infrastructure needed to support AI, especially data centers, is a hot topic too.
Some people are worried that AI data centers could turn into money pits if they're not managed properly.
I see their point. Speaking of the AI hardware market, Samsung is expecting a dip in sales in one key area.
Samsung is projecting a decline in their profits, and they're attributing it to weaker sales of AI chips. This could signal a shift in the dynamics of the AI hardware landscape.
For a broader view of the AI landscape, a veteran venture capitalist recently shared their insights.
This venture capitalist perspective is valuable because they've seen how AI has evolved over time. Their insights into investment trends and the potential impact of AI are worth paying attention to.
Definitely. And when it comes to training AI vision models, one of the biggest challenges is managing all those images.
Efficiently handling the huge amounts of image data needed for training is critical. Building scalable image data pipelines is a top priority for anyone working on AI vision systems.
The Artificial Intelligence Show podcast has been tackling some timely topics. What have they been covering?
Recent episodes of the Artificial Intelligence Show have been diving into things like ChatGPT's revenue growth, predictions for when we might see artificial general intelligence, AGI, Amazon's new AI agent, and the always fascinating topic of the Turing test.
We mentioned a nonprofit using AI for fundraising earlier, and it seems like that approach is gaining momentum.
More and more nonprofits are looking at AI agents as a way to improve their fundraising efforts. It's a really promising application of AI for social good.
And AI is even making its mark in the legal world.
There was a ruling in the Blade Runner 2049 AI lawsuit that said Tesla can still be sued for copyright infringement related to AI-generated content. This case sets a precedent for how the legal system will handle issues around AI and copyright.
It's going to get complicated. There are also some negative stories emerging about companies in the AI space.
Allegations have surfaced against Helsing, an AI defense startup, regarding their technology and some of their business practices. This situation underscores the need for transparency and accountability as the AI defense sector grows.
Absolutely. Transparency is essential in this field. Alibaba is expanding its AI tools for international users.
They've just upgraded their international AI tools with new models from their Qwen series. It's clear they're serious about competing for AI users outside of China.
The rise of AI-generated content, especially things like deepfakes, presents some real challenges.
As AI gets better at creating realistic but fake content, we need robust ways to detect it. And we might even need new regulations to manage the risks associated with manipulated media. It's a pressing issue.
Georgia Tech is working on using AI to improve a crucial area for businesses.
They're focused on applying AI to transform supply chain management, aiming for greater efficiency and resilience in those complex systems. AI could be a game changer for logistics and global trade.
And the healthcare field is seeing the development of AI models specifically designed for medical needs.
Seoul National University Hospital has developed a Korean language-based medical large language model. This highlights the trend of creating specialized AI tools for different professional domains within healthcare.
I've even heard predictions about AI being used in agriculture.
Some say that self-driving tractors, remotely supervised by AI, are the future of farming. It's an intriguing possibility, and it could make agriculture more efficient and sustainable.
That would be a revolution in farming. Even major financial institutions are jumping on the AI bandwagon.
Wells Fargo has rolled out Fargo, its generative AI assistant, and they're reporting high interaction volumes. It shows that AI can effectively handle customer inquiries and potentially streamline a lot of banking services.
As companies deploy AI, measuring how well those systems work is super important.
That's where new open-source frameworks for evaluating AI performance in retrieval-augmented generation, RAG systems, come in. RA is a technique that enhances AI responses by pulling information from external knowledge sources. These frameworks will be valuable tools for businesses using RA systems.
And it seems like investors are eager to pour money into AI startups that can speed up engineering processes.
There's been a significant investment in a startup that's using AI to make engineering workflows faster and more efficient. It's a sign that AI has the potential to significantly improve productivity in technical fields.
China is claiming a big breakthrough in using quantum computing to improve AI.
They've announced a quantum computing breakthrough that they say can be used to fine-tune AI models. They're leveraging their quantum infrastructure for this complex task. It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Even classic video games aren't immune to the AI revolution.
Microsoft has used AI to recreate a gameplay demo of the classic game Quake 2, showing how AI can be used in game development and content creation.
But integrating AI into software development isn't always smooth sailing.
Some developers are saying they're running into problems trying to fix code that was originally generated by AI. It's a reminder that these tools are still evolving and require human oversight.
On a more positive note, AI is being used to make our online lives a little easier.
There are new AI-powered tools that aim to streamline web research, making it faster and more efficient to find the information you need.
That would be a welcome change. The demand for AI talent is intense, and companies are coming up with some creative ways to hold on to their experts.
There are reports that Google is paying some of its top AI talent to basically do nothing to prevent them from being poached by competitors. That's how fierce the competition is for AI expertise.
Wow. And of course, the more philosophical questions around AI continue to be explored.
Podcasts and discussions are diving into big questions about the singularity and the potential for AI consciousness. It's fascinating to consider the long-term implications of advanced AI.
And for those working directly with large language models, there's a lot of discussion about the best ways to use them effectively.
The AI community is sharing best practices about when to use different techniques, like prompting, fine-tuning AI agents and RAG systems to get the most out of large language models.
AI is also proving useful in clinical trials.
Worldwide clinical trials is using AI to analyze large data sets to find hidden subgroups of patients. This could lead to more targeted and ultimately more effective clinical trials for new medications and treatments.
That's really important. And the role of software developers is likely to evolve significantly as AI agents become more capable.
People are discussing how the work of developers will change in the age of AI. Some think AI could automate certain coding tasks, allowing developers to focus on more complex and creative work.
That would be a big shift. John Carmack, a legend in the tech world, has a strong opinion about the importance of AI.
John Carmack sees AI as essential for progress in all areas of computer science. He believes it's at the heart of future innovation.
And there's a new standard for image compression that uses the power of AI.
JPEG AI is a new international standard for compressing images, and it uses machine learning to achieve much better compression without sacrificing image quality.
We talked about Meta's Llama 4 earlier. It seems like there are updates on those initial reports about its performance.
Meta is addressing the concerns about the initial release of Llama 4, saying that some of the issues people noticed were due to bugs that they're working on fixing.
So they're saying it's not a fundamental problem with the model itself.
That's what they're saying.
We'll have to wait and see. And some people are making bold predictions about the future of coding.
Some experts believe that AI will be writing most of the new code in the not-too-distant future. That would be a huge change in the software industry.
Imagine that. AI is also being explored for its potential to help with social responsibility initiatives.
Research is ongoing into creating scalable AI models specifically for things like social good projects. It's exciting to think about how AI can be used to address societal challenges.
And the idea of humans and AI working together is seen as a key to better customer experiences.
The CX Power Duo concept emphasizes the synergy of combining human expertise with AI capabilities to create truly exceptional customer experiences. It's about leveraging the strengths of both.
Finally, researchers are working on ways to make large language models better at thinking things through.
They're experimenting with teaching large language models to self-reflect using reinforcement learning. The goal is to help these models evaluate and improve their own reasoning processes. It's like giving them the ability to think about their own thinking.
And it seems like AI might have a role to play in mitigating a potential healthcare crisis.
There are discussions about using AI to prevent a healthcare crisis that could arise from Medicaid cuts. AI could help optimize resource allocation and make sure those most in need get the care they deserve.
That's a hopeful application of AI. And for listeners interested in the intersection of AI and cybersecurity, there's a great podcast episode out there that covers this topic in detail.
It's an episode featuring the CEO of Recorded Future, and they discuss the evolving landscape of cybersecurity in the age of AI. It's definitely worth a listen.
Well, that was a whirlwind tour of the latest AI news.
It's clear that AI is moving incredibly fast.
No kidding. From the models themselves to the business deals and the wide range of applications, it's a truly dynamic and transformative time.
We hope this deep dive gave you a good overview of what's happening right now.
I think it did. With all this rapid change, it's more important than ever to stay informed. So here's a question for you to ponder. What AI development do you think will have the biggest impact in the next few months? It's something to think about as we watch this technology unfold.
I'm curious to know what our listeners think.
Me too. And if any of the topics we discussed sparked your interest, we encourage you to explore them further. The world of AI is vast and always changing.
There's always more to discover.
Join us again next time for another deep dive as we continue to explore the ever-evolving world of technology and its impact on our lives.